Hello students. Today I am going to discuss about the concept supply. Contents of today's module are meaning, determinants, law of supply, elasticity of supply, and market equilibrium. Any discussion on demand cannot be complete without understanding supply. Demand and supply are like two sides of a coin. Just like demand indicates the willingness of a purchaser to buy a particular commodity, supply means the willingness of the firm to sell a particular commodity. So, supply indicates the quantities of a good and service that the seller is willing and able to provide at a price at a given point of time when other things remaining constant. There are many factors which determine supply of a product. So here we have the different determinants of supply. These are price of the commodity, prices of cost of production, state of technology, prices of related goods, goals of manufacturing company, and many more. Like the price of the commodity is that the supply is positively related to price of the commodity. When other things remaining the same, if the price of the product rises, the suppliers will find it profitable to sell more. So, they will supply more at a higher price. Similarly, the prices of factors of production, that is, the cost of production. Supply is reduced if the cost of production rises. As due to the rise in the price of raw material, supply will definitely be reduced. Similarly, the state of technology has a positive relationship with supply. An improved technology reduces cost of production per unit of output and enhances productivity and thus increases the supply of the product. Similarly, the goals of manufacturing company. If the manufacturing company wish to capture the market and wanted to supply more, they will supply more at a higher price. So with the increase in the number of producer of a particular product, the supply of the product in the market will also increase. Similarly, the prices of the related goods also have an influence on supply. Like the government policies also has a certain influence on the supply of any product. Now we have the law of supply. So the law of supply states that there is a positive relationship between supply of a commodity and its price, such that the supply of the commodity increases with the increase in its price and decreases with the fall in its price when other things remaining constant. So here we can depict or explain the law of supply with the help of a supply schedule and a supply curve. The supply schedule of any product is a list of or a tabular statement of different combinations of price and quantity supplied of that commodity. So here we have, with the increase in the price of the product, the supply of the product also increases. And when we depict these quantities on a graph, so we have a supply curve which shows an upward rising curve. So here in this diagram, on the x-axis we have taken quantity supplied, and on the y-axis the price of the product. So with the increase in price, the supply also increases. So here we have an upward rising supply curve. Now we also need to understand the concept of elasticity of supply. The elasticity of supply measures the degree of responsiveness of quantity supplied of a commodity to a change in its own price. It is also defined as the percentage change in quantity supplied divided by the percentage change in price. When the quantity supply changes more than proportionately to the change in price, the supply tends to be elastic. So here, the greater the responsiveness of quantity supplied to the changes in its price, greater is its elasticity of supply. Now, after understanding the concept of demand and the concept of supply, we can easily understand the market dynamics. So the market dynamics shows that how price affects demand and supply, and with this the price is determined in the market. The market demand curve and the market supply curve, when strikes a balance, we got the equilibrium in the market. So, equilibrium is the state in which market supply and market demand balance each other, and as a result, prices become stable. So, the equilibrium price is the price of a good or service when the supply of it is equal to the demand for it in the market. So both these market demand and market supply plays an important part in the determination of equilibrium price. So here again, the equilibrium in the market occurs when that price is reached where the demand for and the supply of the commodity are equal to each other. So let's say this in this diagram. So here we have a graphical representation of the demand curve with the supply curve. Now here we can see in equilibrium, here again the price is where the demand is just equal to supply. Any point above the equilibrium or below it will create disequilibrium in the market. And the two forces of demand and supply will keep on changing till the point of intersection is attained. That is, a point of balance is attained. So here again, if the price goes up, there is a surplus in the market as the supply is more than the demand. Similarly, if price goes below the equilibrium price, there is an excess of demand, but due to the shortage of supply, the price again comes up and create a balance. So, the market equilibrium is determined by at the point where the forces of demand and supply is equal. An increase in both supply and the demand will cause the sales to rise, but the effect on price can be positive, can be negative, or equal to 0 depending on the extent of the shifts in the curve. So here, that's all for today's lecture. In our regular class will going to explain it in detail. So thank you for watching this video.